This is the news no one saw coming. As millions of Catholics worldwide eagerly awaited the canonization of Carlo Acutis, the Vatican has just announced the dates for 8 new saints, yet the name of the millennial saint is nowhere to be found. This shocking decision has ignited a firestorm of debate, leaving countless young believers disillusioned and questioning what's really happening behind Vatican walls. What you're about to hear could forever change the way you see sainthood in the modern Catholic Church. Subscribe now and comment below. What do you think about the Vatican's decision? Make your voice heard. The Catholic world was rocked today by an announcement from the Vatican that few could have anticipated. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the global community of believers, Pope Leo XIV officially revealed the dates for the canonization of 8 blesseds. Yet the name on everyone's lips, Carlo Acutis, was conspicuously absent. This omission has not only stunned millions of faithful, but has also ignited a firestorm of debate, speculation, and emotion across continents. Carlo Acutis, often called the millennial saint, has become a symbol of hope and inspiration for young Catholics everywhere. His story of a teenager who used his passion for technology to spread the faith, who lived a life of extraordinary virtue, and who died at the age of 15, has resonated deeply in a digital age searching for meaning and authenticity. For years, there has been a growing sense of anticipation, even inevitability, that Carlo would soon be officially recognized as a saint. His beatification in 2020 was met with unprecedented enthusiasm, and since then the momentum behind his cause has only grown stronger. So when the Vatican's press office announced that Pope Leo XIV had set canonization dates for 8 blesseds, excitement reached a fever pitch. Social media erupted with speculation, news outlets scrambled to cover the story, and Catholic communities around the world gathered in prayer and celebration. Yet as the official list was read aloud, a wave of disbelief swept through the crowds. Carlo Acutis' name was not among those chosen. The reaction was immediate and intense. In parishes from Rome to Rio de Janeiro, from Manila to Mexico City, the faithful expressed shock, confusion, and even heartbreak. For many, Carlo's absence felt inexplicable, almost like a personal loss. Young people in particular, who have looked to Carlo as a relatable role model and a beacon of hope in turbulent times, voiced their disappointment across every platform imaginable. Memes, hashtags, and heartfelt messages flooded the internet, with some asking, "Why not Carlo?" and others simply expressing disbelief that the Vatican could overlook such a beloved figure. The sense of shock was not limited to the laity. Priests, bishops, and Catholic influencers took to the airwaves and social media to share their reactions. Some called for patience, reminding the faithful that canonization is a complex process and that the Church moves with careful deliberation. Others, however, openly questioned the decision, suggesting that the omission of Carlo Acutis might signal deeper currents within the Vatican or reflect ongoing debates about the future direction of sainthood in the 21st century. For many, the news was especially jarring given the context of recent years. Carlo Acutis' beatification had been one of the most celebrated church events in decades, drawing record crowds and capturing the imagination of a new generation. His incorrupt body, displayed in Assisi, became a pilgrimage site for thousands, and his story was featured in countless articles, documentaries, and social media campaigns. The expectation that he would be canonized soon was not just wishful thinking, it was for many a foregone conclusion. And yet, as the Vatican's announcement made clear, the path to sainthood is never predictable. The 8 blesseds chosen for canonization each have their own remarkable stories, and their selection is a cause for celebration in its own right. But the absence of Carlo Acutis from the list has cast a long shadow over the festivities, prompting soul-searching and debate within the Church. Some commentators have suggested that the Vatican may be exercising caution, seeking to avoid the appearance of fast-tracking a modern figure whose cause has generated so much public enthusiasm. Others speculate that there may be procedural or theological reasons for the delay, or that the Church is waiting for further miracles to be officially recognized. Still others see the decision as a reflection of broader trends within Catholicism, a sign that the process of canonization is evolving in response to new challenges and opportunities. Whatever the reasons, the impact of today's announcement cannot be overstated. For millions of Catholics, Carlo Acutis represents a bridge between tradition and modernity, between ancient faith and contemporary life. His absence from the list of new saints is not just a bureaucratic detail, it is a moment of profound significance, one that raises questions about the nature of holiness, the pace of change in the Church, and the hopes of a generation longing for heroes they can call their own. As the news continues to reverberate, one thing is certain: the story of Carlo Acutis is far from over. If anything, today's events have only deepened the sense of connection and devotion that so many feel toward him. In homes, schools, and parishes around the world, prayers for his canonization will continue, and the movement he inspired will only grow stronger. The Vatican's decision may have surprised the world, but it has also reminded us all of the enduring power of faith, hope, and the human longing for sanctity in every age. The Vatican's announcement of 8 new canonizations has captured the attention of the global Catholic community, each name on the list representing a unique story of faith, sacrifice, and inspiration. As the world processes the absence of Carlo Acutis, it is important to recognize and honor the individuals who have been chosen for sainthood by Pope Leo XIV. Their lives, marked by extraordinary virtue and unwavering commitment to God, offer a powerful testament to the diversity and depth of holiness within the Church. The 8 blesseds selected for canonization come from various backgrounds and eras, each embodying different aspects of Christian witness. Their stories span continents and centuries, yet all share a common thread: a profound love for God and neighbor, often lived out in the face of tremendous adversity. The Vatican's decision to elevate these individuals to sainthood is not only a recognition of their personal sanctity, but also a celebration of the universal call to holiness that transcends time and place. Among those chosen is Blessed Maria Antonia de Paz y Figueroa, affectionately known as Mama Antula. Born in 18th century Argentina, she dedicated her life to serving the poor and marginalized, founding spiritual retreats and tirelessly advocating for those most in need. Her work laid the foundation for a vibrant tradition of lay ministry in Latin America, and her legacy continues to inspire generations of Catholics across the continent. Another remarkable figure is Blessed Giuseppe Alemanno, an Italian priest and founder of the Consolata missionaries. His vision for evangelization extended far beyond the borders of his native land, leading to the establishment of missions throughout Africa and beyond. Alemanno's commitment to spreading the gospel and his deep compassion for the suffering have made him a beloved figure among missionaries and lay people alike. The list also includes Blessed Elena Guerra, a pioneering Italian educator and advocate for the renewal of the Holy Spirit in the Church. Guerra's emphasis on prayer, unity, and spiritual renewal anticipated many of the themes that would later be central to the Second Vatican Council. Her writings and example have left a lasting mark on Catholic spirituality, particularly in the area of charismatic renewal. Blessed Michael McGivney, the American priest and founder of the Knights of Columbus, is another name that resonates powerfully with Catholics in the United States and beyond. McGivney's commitment to charity, unity, and fraternity helped create one of the largest Catholic lay organizations in the world, providing support to countless families and communities. His canonization is seen as a moment of pride and hope for American Catholics, highlighting the enduring impact of his vision and leadership. From Asia, Blessed Pauline Jaricot stands out as a model of missionary zeal and social concern. A French laywoman, Jaricot founded the Society for the Propagation of the Faith, mobilizing resources and support for missions around the world. Her tireless efforts to promote the gospel and her deep devotion to prayer have made HR a source of inspiration for those engaged in missionary work and social justice. Also among the newly canonized is Blessed Charles de Foucauld, a French hermit and missionary whose radical embrace of poverty and solidarity with the poor has captivated the imagination of believers for generations. Living among the Tuareg people in the Sahara Desert, de Foucault's life was marked by simplicity, humility, and a profound sense of fraternity with all people. His writings and example continue to challenge Christians to seek God in the margins and to build bridges of understanding across cultures and religions. The canonization list further includes Blessed Anna Kolisarova, a Slovak teenager who became a martyr for her faith during World War II. Refusing to submit to violence and remaining steadfast in her commitment to purity and dignity, Kolisarova's courage in the face of death has made her a powerful symbol of hope and resilience for young people around the world. Rounding out the list is Blessed Rutilio Grande, a Salvadoran priest and martyr who dedicated his life to defending the rights of the poor and oppressed. Grande's advocacy for social justice and his ultimate sacrifice in the face of violence have made him a revered figure in Latin America and a beacon of hope for all who seek to build a more just and compassionate world. The selection of these 8 blesseds for canonization reflects the Church's ongoing commitment to recognizing holiness in all its forms. Their diverse backgrounds and experiences demonstrate that sainthood is not confined to any one culture, era, or vocation. Rather, it is a universal call that can be answered in countless ways in the classroom, on the mission field, in the service of the poor, or in the quiet witness of daily life. As the dates for their canonizations approach, the faithful are invited to reflect on the lives and legacies of these new saints. Their stories remind us that the path to holiness is both challenging and rewarding, requiring courage, perseverance, and a deep trust in God's providence. They also serve as a reminder that the Church is enriched by the witness of ordinary men and women who, through their fidelity and love, have become extraordinary examples of Christian discipleship. The announcement has sparked celebrations in communities connected to each of the blesseds. In Argentina, pilgrims are preparing to honor Mama Antula with processions and special masses. In Italy, the Consolata missionaries are organizing events to commemorate Giuseppe Alemanno's lifelong dedication to evangelization. In the United States, Knights of Columbus councils are planning gatherings to mark the canonization of their founder, Michael McGivney, while in Slovakia, young people are drawing inspiration from the heroic witness of Anna Kolisarova. For many, these canonizations are more than just formal declarations. They are moments of communal joy and spiritual renewal. They offer an opportunity to rediscover the richness of the Church's tradition and to draw strength from the examples of those who have gone before us. In a world often marked by division and uncertainty, the lives of these new saints point to the enduring power of faith, hope, and love. At the same time, the announcement has prompted reflection on the nature of sainthood itself. What does it mean to be a saint in the modern world? How can ordinary believers follow in the footsteps of those who have been canonized? The stories of these 8 blesseds offer a variety of answers, showing that holiness is accessible to all who seek to live with integrity, compassion, and a deep commitment to God and others. As the Church prepares to celebrate these canonizations, there is a palpable sense of anticipation and gratitude. The recognition of these new saints is a testament to the vitality and resilience of the Catholic faith, a reminder that the call to holiness is as urgent and relevant today as it has ever been. Their lives challenge us to examine our own commitments, to strive for greater love and service, and to trust that with God's grace, we too can become instruments of transformation in the world. Carlo Acutis stands out as one of the most compelling figures in the Catholic Church's recent history, a young man whose life and legacy have captured the imagination of millions. His story is not just remarkable because of his age or the era in which he lived, but because of the profound impact he has had on the global Church, especially among the youth. Understanding why so many expected Carlo Acutis to be canonized so soon requires a closer look at his extraordinary journey, his spiritual contributions, and the unique resonance he holds for today's believers. Born in London in 1991 and raised in Italy, Carlo was an ordinary teenager in many respects. He loved soccer, enjoyed video games, and had a playful sense of humor. Yet from a young age there was something extraordinary about his faith. He attended daily Mass, prayed the Rosary, and developed a deep devotion to the Eucharist. What set Carlo apart was not only his piety, but the way he integrated his faith into every aspect of his life, making holiness seem accessible and attractive to his peers. Carlo's most famous contribution to the Church was his pioneering use of technology to evangelize. At a time when the internet was still in its relative infancy, Carlo recognized its potential as a tool for spreading the gospel. He created an extensive website cataloging Eucharistic miracles from around the world, making centuries of church history and devotion available to anyone with an internet connection. This project was not only a technical feat for a teenager, but a spiritual labor of love driven by his desire to share the beauty and truth of the Catholic faith with as many people as possible. His digital apostolate quickly gained attention, and Carlo became known as the cyber apostle of the Eucharist. His work inspired countless others to use their own gifts and talents in service of the Church, demonstrating that sanctity is not confined to monasteries or mission fields, but can flourish in the midst of modern life. Carlo's ability to bridge the gap between ancient tradition and contemporary culture made him a relatable and inspiring figure for young Catholics everywhere. But Carlo's influence extended far beyond his technological achievements. He lived with a remarkable generosity and compassion, always attentive to the needs of those around him. Whether defending classmates from bullies, volunteering at soup kitchens, or offering a listening ear to friends in distress, Carlo embodied the Gospel's call to love and serve others. His spirituality was rooted in the ordinary, yet it radiated an extraordinary joy and peace. Tragically, Carlo's life was cut short when he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of leukemia at the age of 15. Even in the face of suffering, his faith remained unshakable. He offered his pain for the Pope and for the Church, accepting his illness with a maturity and serenity that moved all who knew him. His final words, "I'm happy to die because I've lived my life without wasting even a minute on things that aren't pleasing to God," have become a rallying cry for those seeking meaning and purpose in a distracted world. Carlo's death in 2006 marked the beginning of a remarkable wave of devotion. Pilgrims began flocking to his tomb in Assisi, and stories of favors and miracles attributed to his intercession spread rapidly. In 2020, Pope Francis beatified Carlo, declaring him blessed and holding him up as a model for young people everywhere. The beatification ceremony, attended by thousands and watched by millions online, was a moment of profound joy and hope for the Church, signaling a new era in the recognition of youthful holiness. Since then, the momentum behind Carlo's cause has only grown. His incorrupt body, displayed in Assisi, has become a powerful symbol of the enduring presence of holiness in the modern world. His story has been featured in documentaries, books, and social media campaigns, reaching audiences far beyond the traditional boundaries of the Church. For many, Carlo represents the possibility of sanctity in the digital age, a saint for the internet generation whose life speaks directly to the challenges and opportunities of our time. The expectation that Carlo Acutis would soon be canonized was not merely the product of popular enthusiasm. His cause has been marked by a series of remarkable developments, including the recognition of a miracle attributed to his intercession, a young Brazilian boy healed of a rare pancreatic disorder after prayers to Carlo. This miracle paved the way for his beatification and fueled hopes that a second miracle required for canonization would soon be recognized. Reports of further favors and healings continue to emerge, adding to the sense of anticipation. Carlo's appeal is especially strong among young people who see in him a relatable role model and a source of inspiration. In a world often marked by cynicism and disillusionment, Carlo's joyful faith and authentic witness offer a refreshing alternative. He shows that holiness is not about perfection or extraordinary feats, but about living each day with love, integrity, and openness to God's will. His life challenges the stereotype that sainthood is reserved for the distant past or for those with extraordinary vocations, reminding us that every person, regardless of age or circumstance, is called to be a saint. The Church has also recognized the importance of Carlo's example for the new evangelization. In an era when many young people are drifting away from faith, Carlo's story serves as a powerful invitation to rediscover the beauty and relevance of the gospel. His legacy has inspired countless initiatives aimed at engaging youth, from digital evangelization projects to Eucharistic adoration events and pilgrimages. Bishops, priests, and lay leaders frequently invoke Carlo's example in their pastoral work, encouraging young Catholics to embrace their faith with courage and creativity. Carlo's beatification has had a ripple effect throughout the Church, sparking renewed interest in the lives of other young blesseds and candidates for sainthood. His story has helped to break down barriers and stereotypes, showing that the path to holiness is open to all. For many, his anticipated canonization represents not just a personal milestone, but a broader affirmation of the vital role that young people play in the life of the Church. The widespread expectation that Carlo would be among the next to be canonized reflects the deep longing for contemporary saints figures who speak to the realities of modern life and offer hope in the face of uncertainty. In Carlo, many see a bridge between tradition and innovation, between faith and technology, between the Church's ancient heritage and its future mission. His life embodies the possibility of sanctity in a changing world, and his story continues to inspire countless people to seek God in new and creative ways. As the Church moves forward, the legacy of Carlo Acutis remains a powerful force for renewal and hope. Whether or not his canonization comes soon, his example has already left an indelible mark on the hearts of millions. His life reminds us that holiness is not a distant ideal, but a living reality, one that is possible for everyone in every age and in every circumstance. In Carlo, the Church has found not just a model of youthful sanctity, but a friend and guide for the journey ahead. The Vatican's decision to withhold Carlo Acutis' canonization despite his widespread popularity and the anticipation surrounding his cause has prompted a wave of speculation and analysis both within and outside the Catholic Church. While the Holy See has not issued an official explanation for the delay, a number of plausible reasons and theories have emerged rooted in the Church's canonization process, theological considerations, and broader strategic thinking. Understanding these potential factors provides a window into the complexities of sainthood in the modern era and the careful discernment that guides the Church's most significant decisions. First and foremost, the process of canonization is inherently rigorous and methodical, designed to ensure that every candidate for sainthood meets the highest standards of holiness and doctrinal soundness. The Church's procedures are intentionally slow, often taking years or even centuries to complete. After beatification, which Carlo Acutis received in 2020, the next step toward canonization typically requires the recognition of a second miracle attributed to the candidate's intercession. This miracle must be thoroughly investigated by medical experts, theologians, and Vatican officials to rule out any possibility of natural explanation or error. While there have been reports of favors and healings associated with Carlo, it is possible that the Vatican is still in the process of verifying a second miracle, or that none has yet met the stringent criteria required for canonization. Beyond the question of miracles, the Church may be exercising caution to avoid the appearance of fast-tracking Carlo's cause. While his beatification was relatively swift by historical standards, the canonization process is often more deliberate, especially for contemporary figures. The Vatican is acutely aware of the need to maintain the integrity and credibility of its procedures, particularly in an age of instant communication and heightened public scrutiny. By allowing more time for reflection, investigation, and prayer, the Church ensures that the decision to canonize is not influenced by popular pressure or media enthusiasm, but by a genuine and lasting recognition of sanctity. There are also theological and pastoral considerations at play. The canonization of a saint is not merely an acknowledgement of personal holiness, but a declaration that the individual's life offers a universal model for Christian living. The Church may wish to further examine how Carlo's example is received across different cultures and contexts, ensuring that his message resonates not just with young people or those engaged in digital evangelization, but with the broader Catholic community. This careful discernment is especially important in a global Church marked by diverse experiences, challenges, and spiritual needs. Some analysts have suggested that the Vatican's decision may be influenced by a desire to highlight other causes or to balance the recognition of contemporary and historical figures. With 8 blesseds already selected for canonization, the Church may have chosen to focus this year's celebrations on a diverse group of saints from different eras and regions, thereby emphasizing the universality of holiness. By spacing out high-profile canonizations, the Vatican can also ensure that each new saint receives the attention and veneration they deserve, rather than being overshadowed by the excitement surrounding a single figure like Carlo. Another possible factor is the Church's ongoing reflection on the role of youth and technology in evangelization. Carlo Acutis is often celebrated as a patron of the digital age, a bridge between tradition and innovation. The Vatican may be taking time to further study and promote his legacy, encouraging deeper engagement with his message before proceeding with canonization. This approach allows for the development of new pastoral initiatives, educational programs, and digital resources inspired by Carlo's example, ensuring that his impact is fully realized and integrated into the life of the Church. It is also worth noting that the process of canonization involves input from a wide range of voices within the Church, including theologians, bishops, and lay experts. Debates and discussions are common, especially when a candidate's cause is as high profile as Carlo's. Some may advocate for a cautious approach, while others push for a more rapid recognition. The final decision rests with the Pope, who must weigh all the evidence and discern the will of the Holy Spirit. Pope Leo XIV, known for his thoughtful and pastoral leadership, may be seeking to balance the enthusiasm for Carlo's cause with the need for prudence and careful judgment. In addition to these procedural and theological factors, there are broader strategic considerations that may influence the timing of canonizations. The Church is keenly aware of the impact that new saints can have on evangelization catechesis and the spiritual life of the faithful. By choosing the right moment to canonize a figure like Carlo Acutis, the Vatican can maximize the positive effects on youth ministry, digital outreach, and the renewal of faith in a rapidly changing world. Waiting for the most opportune time may allow for greater preparati on celebration and engagement across the global Church. Some observers have also speculated about the possibility of future miracles or developments that could further strengthen Carlo's cause. The Church has always been attentive to the ongoing fruits of a candidate's intercession, and new testimonies or healings may emerge in the years to come. By maintaining a posture of patience and openness, the Vatican leaves room for the Holy Spirit to act in unexpected ways, deepening the Church's understanding of Carlo's sanctity and mission. It is important to recognize that the delay in Carlo's canonization does not diminish his significance or the impact of his witness. On the contrary, the continued devotion to Carlo and the widespread anticipation of his canonization testify to the enduring relevance of his life and message. The Church's careful approach underscores the seriousness with which it treats the recognition of saints, ensuring that each canonization is a true reflection of God's work in the world. For many Catholics, the wait is an opportunity for deeper prayer reflection and engagement with Carlo's legacy. Parishes, schools, and youth groups continue to draw inspiration from his example, organizing events, retreats, and service projects in his honor. The ongoing movement to promote Carlo's cause is itself a sign of the vitality and creativity of the Church, demonstrating that sainthood is not a static or distant ideal, but a living reality that continues to shape the lives of believers. The Vatican's decision has also prompted renewed interest in the broader process of canonization and the criteria by which saints are recognized. Catholics are invited to learn more about the history, theology, and spirituality of sainthood, deepening their appreciation for the Church's rich tradition and the diverse ways in which holiness is manifested. The conversation about Carlo's cause has become a catalyst for education, dialogue, and spiritual growth, fostering a greater sense of connection and commitment among the faithful. As speculation continues, it is essential to remember that the path to sainthood is ultimately guided by God's providence and the discernment of the Church. The delay in Carlo Acutis' canonization is not a rejection, but a sign of the Church's commitment to truth, integrity, and the common good. The faithful are encouraged to remain patient, hopeful, and prayerful, trusting that God's timing is always perfect and that the witness of Carlo will continue to bear fruit in ways both seen and unseen. In the meantime, the global Catholic community is called to celebrate the lives of all those who have been recognized as saints and blesseds, drawing strength from their example and striving to follow Christ more closely. The story of Carlo Acutis is far from over, and his influence will undoubtedly continue to grow in the years ahead. Whether his canonization comes soon or after further discernment, his legacy as a model of youthful holiness, digital evangelization, and Eucharistic devotion is secure, inspiring countless people to seek God with renewed faith and joy. The Vatican's decision to postpone the canonization of Carlo Acutis, even as it moves forward with 8 other blesseds, is more than a momentary disappointment or a mere procedural delay. It is a significant event that invites the Catholic Church and the world to reflect on the meaning of sainthood in the modern era, the hopes and expectations of the faithful, and the ever-evolving relationship between tradition and contemporary life. The implications of this decision and the future of Carlo Acutis' cause reach far beyond the headlines, touching on the spiritual, cultural, and pastoral heart of the Church. At its core, the event underscores the Church's commitment to discernment and integrity in the process of canonization. The decision not to include Carlo Acutis among the newly canonized, despite his immense popularity and the widespread devotion he inspires, is a reminder that sainthood is not a popularity contest. The Church's careful, prayerful approach ensures that every canonization is rooted in truth, authenticity, and a genuine recognition of God's work in the life of the candidate. This commitment to rigorous examination, even when it leads to disappointment or frustration, is ultimately an act of faith. Faith in God's timing, faith in the wisdom of the Church, and faith in the enduring power of holiness to transform lives. Yet the absence of Carlo Acutis from the canonization list has also become a catalyst for renewal and hope. Rather than dampening enthusiasm, the delay has energized the global Catholic community, sparking new waves of prayer, devotion, and creative evangelization. Across continents, young people continue to draw inspiration from Carlo's life, organizing events, retreats, and service projects in his honor. His story is being shared in classrooms, parishes, and on social media, reaching audiences far beyond the traditional boundaries of the Church. The movement he has inspired is a living testament to the vibrancy and resilience of faith in the digital age. For many, Carlo's journey is a powerful affirmation that sainthood is possible for everyone in every age and circumstance. His life bridges the gap between ancient tradition and modern reality, showing that holiness is not confined to the distant past or to extraordinary figures, but is accessible to all who seek God with sincerity and love. Carlo's embrace of technology, his commitment to the Eucharist, and his joyful service to others make him a relatable and compelling model for young people navigating the complexities of contemporary life. In him, the Church finds a friend and guide for the journey of faith in the 21st century. The significance of this moment extends to the broader Church as well. The process surrounding Carlo's canonization has prompted renewed discussion about the nature of Sainthood, the criteria for recognition, and the ways in which the Church can best support and encourage holiness among its members. It has highlighted the importance of listening to the voices of the young, who are not only the future of the Church, but its vibrant present. The global outpouring of devotion to Carlo is a sign of the deep longing for authenticity, meaning, and spiritual leadership in a world often marked by confusion and division. As the Church looks to the future, the story of Carlo Acutis offers both a challenge and an opportunity. It challenges the Church to continue discerning how best to recognize and promote contemporary models of holiness, to engage with the realities of modern life, and to foster a culture of encounter, dialogue, and mission. At the same time, it offers an opportunity to renew the Church's commitment to youth ministry, digital evangelization, and the promotion of the Eucharist as the source and summit of Christian life. Carlo's legacy is already bearing fruit in countless ways, inspiring new initiatives, vocations, and conversions around the world. The delay in canonization also invites the faithful to a deeper trust in God's providence. History is filled with examples of saints whose recognition came only after years or even centuries of waiting. The Church's patience is not a sign of indifference, but of reverence for the mystery of God's work in human lives. In the meantime, the faithful are called to continue praying for Carlo's cause, to share his story, and to imitate his example in their own lives. The journey to sainthood is not only about official recognition, but about the ongoing transformation of hearts and communities through love, service, and faith. Looking ahead, the future of Carlo Acutis' cause remains bright. Reports of favors and miracles attributed to his intercession continue to surface, and the devotion to him shows no signs of waning. As the Church continues its discernment, it is likely that Carlo's canonization will eventually take place, bringing joy and hope to millions. When that day comes, it will not only be a recognition of Carlo's personal holiness, but a celebration of the countless young people who, inspired by his example, are striving to live lives of faith, integrity, and service. The impact of this moment will be felt for years to come. The conversation about Carlo Acutis has already enriched the Church's understanding of sainthood, youth, and evangelization. It has fostered a spirit of unity and mission, encouraging Catholics of all ages to embrace their vocation to holiness. The delay in canonization, far from being a setback, has become a source of spiritual growth and renewal, reminding the Church that the path to sanctity is always marked by patience, perseverance, and hope. In the end, the story of Carlo Acutis is a story of faith, a faith that transcends boundaries, inspires action, and points to the enduring presence of God in every age. His life and legacy continue to shine as a beacon for the Church and the world, inviting all people to discover the joy of the gospel and the beauty of a life lived for others. As the Church continues to walk the path of discernment and prayer, the example of Carlo Acutis will remain a source of inspiration, challenge, and hope for generations to come. The Vatican's decision, while unexpected, has ultimately served to deepen the Church's commitment to truth, integrity, and the universal call to holiness. It has reminded the faithful that sainthood is not about speed or popularity, but about fidelity to God's will and the transformative power of grace. As Catholics everywhere continue to pray for Carlo's canonization, they do so with confidence that in God's perfect timing, all things will be fulfilled. Until then, the legacy of Carlo Acutis endures, a living witness to the possibility of holiness in the heart of the modern world, and a sign of hope for the Church's journey into the future. In the midst of the excitement and celebration, the absence of Carlo Acutis remains a poignant reminder that the journey to sainthood is often marked by mystery and waiting. Yet the stories of those who have been chosen offer hope and encouragement to all who long for holiness in their own lives. As the Church honors these new saints, the faithful are reminded that the path to sanctity is open to everyone, and that each person in their own way is called to reflect the light of Christ in the world. The Vatican's decision to announce canonization dates for 8 blesseds, while omitting Carlo Acutis sparked an immediate and passionate response from Catholics around the globe. The news reverberated far beyond the walls of the Vatican, igniting conversations in churches, schools, social media platforms, and newsrooms. The reaction was not merely one of surprise, but a complex blend of disappointment, confusion, hope, and renewed devotion, reflecting the profound connection many people feel to Carlo and the broader process of sainthood in the modern Church. In the hours following the announcement, social media became a living tapestry of emotion and opinion. Hashtags like #Where is Carlo?, Saint Carlo, Now, and #Canonize Carlo trended across platforms such as X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Young Catholics in particular voiced their feelings with intensity and creativity, sharing memes, personal testimonies, and calls to prayer. Many posted photos of themselves at Carlo's tomb in Assisi, or shared stories of how his life had inspired them to return to the faith, volunteer, or embrace the sacraments more deeply. The digital outpouring was a testament to the unique bond between Carlo and a generation searching for authenticity and hope. The disappointment was palpable in youth groups and campus ministries, where Carlo Acutis had become a household name. For many, he was not just a distant figure from church history, but a relatable friend and role model. Students at Catholic schools and universities organized prayer vigils and special masses, both to honor Carlo and to process their feelings about the Vatican's decision. Some expressed their dismay, openly questioning why the Church would delay the recognition of someone who had done so much to revitalize faith among the young. Others took a more reflective approach, seeing the news as an invitation to deeper prayer and trust in God's timing. Priests and religious leaders also weighed in, offering words of comfort and perspective. In homilies and pastoral letters, many reminded the faithful that the process of canonization is deliberate and careful, designed to ensure that each candidate's life and miracles are thoroughly examined. Some bishops encouraged their dioceses to see the delay not as a rejection, but as an opportunity to continue spreading Carlo's message and to pray for the Church's discernment. Others, however, acknowledged the pain and confusion felt by so many and called for greater transparency and communication from church authorities. International Catholic media outlets quickly picked up the story, providing analysis and commentary from theologians, canon lawyers, and church historians. Some commentators speculated about possible reasons for the delay, ranging from procedural issues to broader questions about the pace of modern canonizations. Others focused on the impact of the decision on the global church, noting how Carlo's story had galvanized youth ministry and digital evangelization efforts worldwide. The news was covered not only by religious media, but by mainstream outlets as well, reflecting the broad interest in Carlo's life and the changing face of sainthood in the 21st century. Beyond the digital sphere, the announcement had a tangible impact in parishes and communities. In Assisi, where Carlo's incorrupt body is venerated, pilgrims continued to visit his tomb in large numbers, leaving flowers, letters, and photographs. Many expressed their disappointment, but also their determination to keep praying for his canonization. "Carlo is already a saint in our hearts," one pilgrim told a local reporter. "We will keep coming, we will keep praying, and we will keep sharing his story." Similar sentiments echoed in churches from Brazil to the Philippines, where devotion to Carlo has taken root in vibrant ways. The reaction was not limited to lay people. Several prominent church leaders spoke out about the significance of Carlo's witness and the importance of recognizing youthful holiness. Cardinal Agostino Vallini, who presided over Carlo's beatification, called him a beacon for the new generation, while others urged the Vatican to continue supporting causes that resonate with young Catholics. Some bishops used the moment to highlight the broader need for role models who can inspire faith in an increasingly secular world. Amid the disappointment, there was also a sense of hope and resilience. Many Catholics saw the delay as a reminder that sainthood is ultimately about God's will, not human timelines. Prayer campaigns for Carlo's canonization intensified, with novenas, Eucharistic adoration, and online petitions gaining momentum. Catholic influencers and youth ministers encouraged their followers to see Carlo's example as a call to personal holiness and evangelization regardless of official recognition. "Don't wait for Rome," one popular Catholic YouTuber urged. "Live like Carlo now and let his story change your life." In some quarters, the Vatican's decision prompted deeper reflection on the nature of sainthood and the process of canonization itself. Debates emerged about whether the Church should fast-track contemporary figures who have had a massive impact, or whether caution and patience are necessary to preserve the integrity of the process. Some theologians pointed to historical examples of saints whose causes took decades or even centuries, while others argued that the modern world needs contemporary saints who speak to current realities. The conversation became a catalyst for broader discussions about the future of the Church and the role of youth in its mission. For many, the news also served as a moment to rediscover the stories of the 8 blesseds who will be canonized. Catholic educators and catechists used the opportunity to teach about the diversity of holiness, emphasizing that every saint's journey is unique. Some organized study groups and presentations on the new saints, highlighting their courage, charity, and faithfulness. This focus on the wider communion of saints helped to balance the disappointment with a renewed appreciation for the Church's rich spiritual heritage. As the initial shock began to fade, a spirit of unity and determination emerged. The faithful rallied around Carlo's memory, organizing service projects, digital evangelization campaigns, and creative initiatives inspired by his example. Young people launched websites and apps to continue Carlo's Missio of spreading Eucharistic devotion. Parishes held Carlo Acutis days featuring talks, prayer services, and opportunities for confession and adoration. The energy and creativity unleashed by the news became a testament to the enduring power of Carlo's witness. In the end, the Vatican's announcement became more than just a news story. It became a moment of communal discernment, prayer, and action. The global response revealed the deep longing for holiness and authenticity that animates the Church today. It also underscored the importance of listening to the voices of the young, who are not only the future of the Church, but its vibrant present. Carlo Acutis' absence from the canonization list was felt deeply, but it also sparked a renewed commitment to living out his message to seek God in the ordinary, to use our gifts for the good of others, and to trust that in God's time all things will be made new. As Catholics continue to process the news, the story of Carlo Acutis remains a source of inspiration and hope. The collective response, marked by honesty, faith, and resilience, shows that the journey to sainthood is not just about official recognition, but about the transformation of hearts and communities. Whether or not Carlo is canonized in the near future, his legacy endures in the lives he has touched and the movement he has inspired. The Church, in all its diversity and dynamism, continues to walk the path of holiness, guided by the example of saints, both recognized and yet to be named.